All right, boys. Howdy doody. RFF picks. What we're doing today and what we're going to continue to do on a weekly basis. Every Sunday, we're going to try to check in for about 10, 15 minutes, have a touch bases. This is going to be an intro interview. All right. So, what we pretty much want to relate to all of you guys is that we have a Real Friends of Football channel. It was initially supposed to start out as a betting channel. Things changed. We adjusted. There was an audible. We went straight football, got 33,000 subscribers, but we are trying to emulate that same system and get it to the same pathway. Alex, this is my partner. This is the first time we've been on the screen together through RFF Picks.
Sure.
We got a few questions for you. I have no problem admitting you are the more veteran, seasoned
Thanks, man.
gambler.
Anything else you want
Okay,
to admit?
calm down, dude. Just gambling, dude. Jeez Louise, you always want to get one more. But yeah, we're gonna give you those flowers. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. I'm gonna answer them as I feel as if they need like my input. But for the most part, this is gonna be your little interview to really get these people know who we are. First things first, I just need to know what started you out in the world of gambling? What interests you in the world of gambling? Is it poker also? Is it blackjack? Or is it just sports, esports, gambling? Pretty much give us the lay of the land.
Yeah. So when it came to me starting gambling, it was in college. I was living with like six guys in a house, and we had football on. And my friend Ross actually came downstairs and was like, "Hey, do y'all want to go over the spreads of the games?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what is the spread?" And after that, we started like guessing the spreads, and it was just crazy because as like someone that's not into gambling, you just have no clue what all that means. And right since then, I learned everything, and I just got super interested in the whole gambling aspect that you can make money on predicting sports, I guess. And to answer the other question you said, I've never really been into poker or roulette or blackjack or anything, because in my head I know that Vegas is out there to beat you in all of those games. So sports gambling is something that you can win at. You can have an advantage over the books. So I started to learn that throughout the time. And for a
So,
timeline for people, this was like, let's see, 14 years ago. So
okay, so 14 years ago is when you really got started. So within
yeah.
that 14 years, when do you think you learned the sauce? And was it the first like 3 years, 5 years? When did you crack the code?
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all remember, but the NBA Finals or the Eastern Conference, I think it was Bucks versus Nets. So it was KD, Harden, Kyrie, and that was when Giannis beat them in like Game 7. So I had a pretty hefty bet on the Nets to win that series. I was like, oh, they got Harden, they got Kyrie, like it's GG. Who's this? Not like who's Giannis, but I was like, Giannis isn't gonna play up to these guys. And that's when I think Kyrie got hurt, Harden got hurt, and then KD had that jumper when his foot was over the line. And I think at that point it's easy for someone to just be like, oh, all this shit happened, like nothing's in my control. I'll be better next time, whatever. But rather than doing that, I started like looking within myself, and I started looking on YouTube, looking at what other people were doing, and I realized that instead of making excuses, you can start finding ways to get an advantage over the sports books. So
Okay.
ever since that
Okay.
day, I've been up like, I think it's like 400 units or something. So I think that was 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've been on the uprise, and I think I've made like 7,000 bets or something. So it's pretty crazy.
So what are some of the skills, some of the strategies, and once again, you're amid into like only sports and then esports betting. So what are some skills? What are some strategies that you could kind of share with the people that are going to be listening?
Yeah, so I do EV positive betting. So basically, what that is every sports book has an independent line. So if you bet on FanDuel, this could be minus 120, and then on DraftKings, it's minus 140, and on this book, it's minus 150. and then they have this other book over here that gives you it at plus 110. So a lot of issues that people run into is they're just like, oh, I'm only on one sports book, or I only bet on this platform, and that's it. And it's not smart to do that because you can get better odds within all of the books. So basically, what you're doing is you're comparing, like, why buy IBM stock at $5 when you can buy it over here for cheaper? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that's like kind of how EV betting is. And then the other thing that's pretty brand new into the scene now is correlated betting. And that is on like prize picks and sports books like that, to where you bet on Patrick Mahomes to go over his passing yards and Travis Kelsey to go over. And then if they're playing another team like the Dolphins, you bet on Tua to go over and Tyreek to go over. So you're basically betting on a high scoring game between the two teams. So that's the other thing I've done. And then also this is another strategy I use. I call it like villain betting. And
Oh
basically
gosh.
I learned this from my friend Isaac. And basically what that is that whenever you're at the sports bar or you're at a bar and someone's like, yo, this team's gonna win easily, you basically want to be on the other side of betting. So when you hear a lot of the public or a lot of people are taking something like Travis Kelsey to score touchdown or whatever, you always want to be on the opposite side, because that's where all the money is flowing. And then so you want to be on Vegas's side most of the time. So those are my like three
Mm.
strategies. Yeah. So if
Okay.
you ever see
Okay.
a tweet saying like Vegas, Vegas wants this to win, you want to be on that, because you don't want to be where the losers are betting, right?
Okay, because the house always wins.
Right.
All right. So we have a beautiful, amazing, very flattering community of supporters on on our main channel, Real Friends of Football. A good chunk of them don't really understand the ethics and or morality of gambling. There's a lot of negativity upon it. Is there a way you've been able to compartmentalize or see a moral value into sports betting and sports gambling? And I've also used to be one of those people. So after you answer, I'm going to follow up with an answer. But how can you best explain it to people that are skeptical about gambling to probably get involved?
Yeah. I personally never really had that issue when it came to, the morality of it. I know some people are, Christians or whatever, so it might kind of be difficult for them to get into it. But the way I've never really looked at it as sports gambling as a negative. I looked at it more as like an investment. I mean, I feel like you got the stock market over here. Everyone has money invested in the stock market all the time. That's the comforting thing to do. The smart thing to do is once you get money, oh, go invest it into the stock market. But then you have gambling, or, sports gambling over here on this side. And you can actually make better return on your investment in sports gambling than you can make in the stock market. So here, over here, everyone's all happy about it. It's, the corporate thing to do. And then over here, sports gambling is this negative, oh, everyone loses money and parlays and blah, blah, blah. And it's just for fun, but you really can make money. And that's actually another, before I forget, basically, is I don't sports, or you're probably going to get into this later, but I don't bet for fun anymore. It's really just, it's making money. And
Mhm.
I'm pretty, even keel when I lose and win. I know I'm doing the smart thing, and so that's another thing that I think a lot of people, they want to feel something, so that's why they bet it, right? And they're sitting over
Mhm.
there looking at their bets all the time. So
Yes. So I'm also gonna quickly, you know, give my answer about it. I'm one of those people that saw it as a religious
yeah,
you know, infraction upon myself. And what I was able to do, not make a little, side quest or make a little a cheat code to it, but it just like you said. I mean, I've flirted with day trading before. I've flirted with stock market. I've flirted with investing, and so the way
Bitcoin, that's another thing.
all that stuff,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly, taking a risk. that is can be a financial benefit or a financial failure. I have seen it in a way of when you and I when we started doing more advanced gambling, you don't have an emotion tied to it.
Hmm.
So when I lose money, I'm not beating my wife and not going to the bar to drink my
Yeah, yeah.
emotions away because I am not taking an emotional play. This isn't anything of like, oh, I love Joe Burrow. He's my favorite player. I gotta go for him to get this over 260 yards. Plus, he's really, really good. And this defense isn't as good. And so I create logic and emotional ties to it to where when I lose, I'm telling myself, ooh, I'm stupid. I don't know the game as good as I do. And I'm sad because my team lost and I lost the bet. But instead, just like with investing, you need to see sports gambling, in my personal opinion, as investing. Put money up that you're willing to lose and not
Hmm.
lose sleep over.
Yeah.
And so as long as I've been keeping that same fate, it's been good. And another important thing is it's like you said, the rush, that freaking adrenaline shock of winning a bet. It's the fact that my emotions aren't in it and my own logic is not in it. When I hit a play, hit a six man, it's like, oh nice. The system didn't fail me. Cool.
There used to be a point in time to where I couldn't even watch sports without having some sort of money on it. I would sit there looking at plays and find something out there to where I could bet it, and then that would make me watch the sport. So I feel like a lot of people have that problem. Like any given Sunday, they're out there just waking up at 10 a.m. trying to find all these bets to place, and it's not really the mentality to have. It's more like bet when you can find an advantage, not for fun, I guess. So,
Yeah. Um, I got two more for you. Um, is this something, granted the chips fall where they need to fall and everything kind of happens in a way that we're predicting things to happen with our game plan. Being a full-time sports bettor and advocator for it, is that something that you're planning to do full time?
I mean, ideally, yes. One of the kind of problems I have is being in Texas, so we're kind of limited to the amount of sports books we have. There was a world like 3 years ago that I thought I could move to like Vegas and have access to all these books and basically make a career out of it. But going into that, I think that's kind of what sparked us to start this is, RFF picks is, we're kind of limited to some of the books that we have. But one thing that I do know is that I can assist people in helping them win money because I know that 90% of people out there are losing money when it comes to sports betting, probably even more than that. And so the way that I can help educate people to win money is a nice thing. And kind of like what you were saying, the negative connotation when it comes to sports gambling, I want to try to reverse that because I feel like there are a lot of people out there that sell picks and stuff, and they're kind of uh, greedy, I guess, or they don't have
Hammers.
they don't have like good morale or morals, I guess, when it comes to doing that. And I feel like I'm kind of an open book, and I'm gonna tell you when I lose. And once kind of what we were saying earlier, it's like just trust the system. And we're not making you do anything. We're just trying to give you all of the tools to be successful. And if you don't want to do that or you don't believe in it, then that's on you at that point. So
So you quickly had said 90%, maybe even more people are just casually and consistently losing a lot of money with betting. We actually have a mutual dude. We could finally check him off the books. He's not going to pay us the Seahawks
oh
bet
wow.
that we had cashed in on.
Yeah.
He's AFK. So apologies on that one. We made an easy bet on this
That was a
guy.
very emotional bet on his side.
Let's just real
Didn't
quick.
check
Yeah.
the lines. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can explain it, but
Real quick, story time. So I used to work with a particular colleague. He is a huge Lions fan, and for some reason, there was whether it be a vendetta against Geno Smith or some type of issue with the Seahawks. He plainly, flat out told me like, "Hey, give if the Seahawks go over 6.5 wins, I'll pay you $100. And he says that to me, and I'm like, whoa, that's
I think it was 5.5. Honestly, I
oh
think it
yeah,
was
you're
like
right,
over
5.5,
6. Yeah.
5.5. Yeah, it wasn't even. Yeah, I gave him whole game. It was 5.5. We shake hands. I immediately hit up Alex like, yo, I got a dude.
And you
he's
probably didn't even know the line at all.
I mean, I didn't know it, but I knew it. Like I
Yeah,
knew it
yeah,
wasn't going to be
yeah.
five and a
Right.
half.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I hit up Alex like, "Yo, I got a buddy. He's really down on the Seahawks. You want to take a 5.5 over?" Alex is like, "Hell yeah, like whatever you want." So he's down. He's in for it 200, and me, Alex, we're splitting it at one. Um, what like week what 8, 9,
Yeah.
10? I don't even remember. The Seahawks get their sixth win,
Mm.
and it turned out he didn't even know that the starting line was like 9.5 for the Seahawks, or like eight and a
Yeah,
half,
I think it
something
was
like
like
that.
8.5 or 9, and we got it at like 5.5. So this is a prime example of somebody that is just betting with emotion. Like we know the line, we know the correct, 50-50 chance of where I think they ended up getting 9 wins, like exactly. So the
Yeah.
sportsbook had the line correct.
Hmm.
And he was giving it to us at what 5.5, and so
Yeah.
I literally probably would have bet any amount of money on that because and it's one of those things that once again we aren't going to be upset if it loses because we know we're on the right side, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that way. If you were to say, oh, will the Chiefs make playoffs and it's a coin flip, you're going to take the Chiefs all the time to make playoffs because you know that the odds of them making playoffs are 75% chance, right? So if they
Like a lot
don't,
of bad shit has to happen for
right,
them
if
to
they
not make
don't
it.
make playoffs, then you can kind of stomach that because you were on the right side of the bet. If you went to a roulette table and they gave you 65% chance to win on black and you're getting 100 for 100, you're going to take that all day. You sit there at roulette table, you're in for 8 hours, 10 hours a day betting on black every single time. So it's kind of
Right.
the same thought process when you take a bet like the Seahawks winning 6 games, right? So
Yeah, so let that be a little marker. I got one more question for y'all, but I want to just reiterate that one more time. This guy has gone completely AFK. I considered him a legitimate buddy, a friend. I did not expect him to just like go away. He pretty much just hasn't. He's down 200. I even told him. I sent him a message. I'm like, "Hey, bro, I forgive your debt. Like, I'm good on it. At least pay Alex because I gave him my word that you were good for it." And he still hasn't responded. So let that be a little mental note for you guys. Like, don't go with emotion. You have some sense. And then Alex, you also have a pair. I don't want to say the guy's name, but you have a Caleb Williams bet for first overall pick, correct? Something like that.
as of now, I don't know. Once again, it's kind of the same kind of thought process with that. I literally texted you. I was like, if he wants to make I literally told him I will bet you any amount of money that Caleb goes number one. And basically, I have
Yeah.
this friend who said like, oh, the Bears are going to stick with Justin Fields and they're going to draft somebody else. And I'm like, yo, even if the Bears do go with Fields, or yeah, even if the Bears do go with Fields, they're going to trade the first pick because Caleb Williams is worth exponentially amount of picks, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things. It's people just betting with pure emotion at that point. I'm a very like money where your mouth is type person. So if someone comes up to me with this like insane thing, I'm gonna be like, all right, let's bet on it. And a lot of times people are gonna say no because they know
Right.
that they're wrong. If they're like, I
Yeah.
guarantee you Drake May is gonna be the second overall pick, I'm like, all right, let's bet it,
Let's
right?
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, if I know the
Last one.
odds, but
Oh,
no, I was gonna say,
last one for you is regarding our beautiful partnership with Winnable. Can you give one, two, maybe even three, however many you need to, pointers on why they should follow us on Winnable, on why they should hit our free plan, or even more so, hit the MVP plan? What is the importance of following RFF picks on Winnable?
yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about it early on. Yeah. So Winnable is basically a platform to where you can get a text or email and get picks directly to your phone. And this is the Winnable partnership that we have is something that I'm really excited for. I think we've worked as a huge YouTube, community. We've worked with a lot of brands, and I feel like Winnable is something that I really like and enjoy because I don't think there's anything really out there that you can just get a free text with picks like that. And once again, we figure out the EV and the correlated system, and anything that you're gonna get from us is gonna be profitable in the long term, right? Like I've been doing it now for 3 years. I've had success on it, and I'm taking it a lot more seriously to where, like, once again, I'm putting money where my mouth is. I'm putting, well, yesterday I put like $500 down on all these correlated bets, and
Mhm.
because I don't want to give people bets that I don't trust in myself, right? So every play that I'm sharing, I'm putting my own money into it, and I want people to, have that same expertise that I do. And once again, it just we want to be an open book, and I feel like I want everyone to build like a positive community, I guess. And
Yeah.
so yeah, worst comes to worst, just if you don't trust us to that amount, and I would understand that, just go ahead and sign up for the free picks, and see how we do, and you'll learn from there.
Yeah, and I'll quickly, as we close out this interview, I'll quickly just chime in on why I believe Winnable with RFF picks is a good way to go. It is for me still a thing of investing and a morality clause to it, because I know there's a lot of guys out there that, not to shade anyone, but they're high rollers and or they want to get the views up. They want to, their intent is to essentially like make themselves a lot more money, and no flack to that. I want to, and me personally, because we have a YouTube channel that's already profiting for us, that's making us money, and we're happy with what we're doing there. So now with RFF picks, Alex and I, we could have kept doing this under the shoe, keep using the software that we're using under the shoe, and not really share it. But I feel as if I can help people make more educated, more safe, more value driven bets, less emotional, less logical bets, then I want to do it. And the thing, I think the main thing that really helps us parlay that is our brand, the Real Friends of
Mhm.
Football brand that we really have a lot of faith in. We would not put our feet out there in the mud if we knew we were going to sink, if we knew we were going to get dirty. Just that feeling of stealing money from people.
Yeah,
It felt weird for a long time, right, Alex? Like it felt kind of weird for a long time, but then we realized, okay, we are helping people. Like if
yeah.
we see it as like us actually helping people, it's not that bad of an ordeal whatsoever, because we're going to be helping a lot of you guys save money in the longest of runs. So
I know a lot of people that basically right when they get their paycheck, they start making these insane parlays, and they just lose all the time, and they're always in the red. And people, if we can assist people, I've been doing this for 15 years. I finally cracked the code like 3 years ago, and if I can like eliminate somebody having to go through all that learning process through what I
yeah.
had to do, then it to me it's the win for them.
I mean,
And
that was me. That was me.
yeah,
You pretty much, I never went in with all that red paint, because you were like, Miles, this is literally a system. Like, look, these are the
yeah.
numbers. This is the, like, look, Miles, and that's what drew me into it. So yeah, you
Yeah.
got anything last you want to say?
Well, another thing too, I think anyone that's at this video at this point is looking to be better at gambling, so they already have a good mindset, right? Like it kind of like me. Whenever I was losing, the first thing I did is go onto YouTube and try to see what other people were doing and like how to actually win. And so I feel like a lot of people that are already subscribed to RFF Picks, like we just started, we have like 30 subscribers, whatever. I'm sure we'll get 500 in the next 3 weeks or month or
30
whatever.
subs in like what, like 4 days,
Yeah, right.
6 days
I'm just
maybe.
saying, like, all these people are open to learning, right? Like, they want to crack the code as well, and they're not dumb. I don't think anyone on here is like dumb, basically. And so, all the people that are subscribed, I think, you have faith in the system. Like you understand correlated betting to an extent. You get EV betting, and so it's at this point it's just let's all ride together at this point. So that's how I feel.
Let's do it.
And
All right,
I'm
guys. Oh,
excited. So I was just gonna say like football season's about to be over, so we're really gonna start getting daily videos out there because football is going to be kind of in a dead zone, and so we can really put a lot of our efforts into this channel. So
yeah, guys. So be on the lookout. We're gonna give a video out every single day, a play a day. Head over to Winnable. At least just sign up for our free package, our free plan, and you know that with our free plan, these aren't two guys that are just rushing or just searching, sifting through player props and stuff like that. No, we have invested into software. We have invested into 15 years of learning, 15 years or 9 years of losing a lot,
yeah,
and then getting it, figuring it out, and then repeating the process. And we're here to help. We're here to assist you guys. So go ahead and give us a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.